Alright, then welcome back everyone. Let's solve this question, permutation swap. So I hope you read the question once. Let's start. So basically you are given an unsorted permutation, P1, P2, Pn. So you already know what is a permutation. It's simply an array of n integers in which elements from 1 to n appear exactly once in any order, of course. And they have defined one operation here. What is that operation is? You can pick basically any two integers. You can pick any two integers which are k distance apart. So basically if you have a aj here and you have ai here, basically I is equal to j plus k. Okay, if you want an example here, if this is let's say a5 and k value is 3, you can pick a8 or maybe a2, right? So basically distance between these guys is 3, right? So you can pick elements k distance apart and swap them. So that is the operation, right? So in one operation you can pick two integers which are k distance apart and swap them, right? And what is the maximum value of k you can choose to sort the given permutation? So you have to fix it upon a k, and you can only swap integers which are k distance apart. So that is the rule here. They have defined the definition of permutation here, fine. And unsorted permutation, yeah, fine. So this is they have said the input is an unsorted permutation. You won't be given a sorted permutation, fine. So okay, that's one more thing, right? You already know if a permutation is sorted, let's say 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, then pi's position will be simply I, right? So this is p1, this is p2, this is p3, p4, p5. So I'm just talking about one based indexing, right? So if you have a sorted permutation, then pi will be located at position I or index I, fine. So that's also one observation here, simple observation. Fine. So in the input you are given an unsorted permutation, which is sure, definitely sure, and output you have to give the maximum value of k. So what is the maximum value of k you can choose, so that if you keep on swapping the elements k distance apart, you will be able to sort the permutation. Okay, so that is, you have to decide upon a value of k, and you have to try to maximize the value as much as possible. Now, what do you think is the worst possible value of k? Worst possible value of k would be n-1, right? So let's say you have a permutation of size 5. The 5 is at the starting position, let's say 1 2 3 4 5, right? So 5 is here, and the worst possible value of k can be just 4, right? So provided it's possible. Okay, but yeah, you know that k value will lie somewhere between 1 and maybe 0 also, right? K can be 0. No, k cannot be 0, right? Because the permutation is not sorted. Okay, permutation not sorted, so k value will lie somewhere from 1 to n-1. So that we can clearly see, right? Just by reading the question, you can figure out that the k value will lie from 1 to n-1. You have to try to maximize it. Fine. So this is a beautiful question in the sense, this is a beautiful application of number theory. That's why I love this question. Now you don't need to know any complicated number theory. Just by looking at the examples, you'll be able to derive what is happening here. Okay, so let's just look at the Codeforces example only and try making sense out of it. So I've taken the examples from Codeforces itself. So firstly, we have a permutation of size 3, which is unsorted, fine. So okay, so what is the sorted version of a permutation? It's simply elements 1 to n, right? So that's the sorted version of the permutation, right? So if you have a permutation of length n, the simply its sorted form would be 1 2 3 so on till n, right? So that's not a very difficult thing to see. So yeah, let's just see some observations. So first things first, let's say n equals to 3. So this is the permutation that is given to you. What will be the sorted version of it? Of course, this will be the sorted version of it. I've written the positions here, but fine. Okay. Now first, let's find out how far an element is from its correct position. Okay, because we want to maximize the value of k. So let's just see how far each element is from its position. So then we might be able to see some things from it, right? So this 3 is how much far? So 3 should be at third position. So right now the distance from its correct position is 2. Okay, fine. 1 should be at first position, but right now it's second position. So the distance between its correct position is 1. Okay, and 2 is 2 should be at second position, but right now it is at third position. So again, it is 1 distance apart from its correct position, right? So what should be the value of k here? See, you cannot choose a value of k equals to 2, because if you choose k equals to 2, you won't be able to move 1 into its correct position. Fine, you cannot do that. But if you choose a k value 1, if you choose k equals to 1, you should be able to move it, right? So if you choose k equals to 1, you can move 1 here. So I'll just write it here, don't worry. So if you choose k equals to 1, you can not choose k equals to 2, you figured out, right? So, but let's see what happens if I choose k equals to 1. If you choose k equals to 1, first things first, you can move this 1 to its correct position. So 1, 3, 2, fine. Then you can move 2 to its correct position like this. So 1, 2, 3, fine. Sorted array, done. So here k value is 1, right? You cannot have more than that, and you cannot. So this is maximum value you can get. Okay, don't worry. Let's just see the examples. Okay, this is a purely observation based question. So let's see here. So 3 is how far from its correct position? 3 is 2 distance apart. 4 is 4 minus 2, 2 distance apart. 1 is 3 minus 1, 2 distance apart. And 2 is again 2 distance apart. So everyone is 2 distance apart. So here I guess you should be able to do it with k equals to 2, right? You cannot have k equals to more than 2, because how will you do it? Every element is just 2 distance apart. So the maximum value of k you can get is 2. So how is that going to happen? Let's just see. Okay. So first things first, what should you do? Let's just move this 3 to its correct position. So it will become 1, 4, 3, 2. And then let's just move this 4 and 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. Okay, that's some observation here. Let's see some more examples and try to make sense out of it. So n equals to 7. Okay, so how far is 4 from its correct position? Right now it's 1 position, but it should be at 4. So 3. How far is 2? 2 is at its correct position, so just 2, 0. So how far is 6 from its correct position? 3. Okay. How far is 7 from its correct position? Basically 7 minus 4. I'm just subtracting the index from the value and just taking the absolute value, right? So that's what I'm doing. Because this is the sorted version, right? Okay. So 7 minus 4, 3. 5 minus 5, 0. 5 is also its correct position. 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 is 3 distance apart because 3 is here. 3 should be here. Fine. So, okay. And 1 is 6 distance apart. Interesting. So anyway, we don't have to touch about these guys, right? So it's not necessary to perform the operation on every element, right? So we need not worry about these guys. These guys 2 and 5. Now let's see what is the maximum value you can get. Of course, if n is 7, you cannot pick a value more than 6. That you know, you cannot pick a value more than 6 n minus 1, right? Okay. So can we pick k equals to 6? Can we pick k equals to 6? That's my question to you. So if you pick k equals to 6, you won't be able to move this 4, 6, 7, 3, right? Because they are just 3 distance apart from their correct position. So if you pick k equals to 6, you cannot do it. But what if I pick k equals to 3? What if I pick k equals to 3? So what I'm doing is I'm just looking at how far the elements are there from the correct position and trying to give possible values of k that only, right? Because it makes sense, right? It's a very intuitive thing to do because, of course, the k value will be some of these values only. Any one of these values only, right? If some elements are some distance apart, other elements other distance apart, the k value will be any one of these values, right? Because in the end, you have to move the elements to the correct position. Fine. So, okay. So this is 3. So you cannot pick k equals to 6. Fine. But can you pick k equals to 3? Is my question to you. Let's see. See, if you pick k equals to 3, you would be able to move 4, 6, 7, 3 to the correct position. Fine. But can I move 1 to its correct position? Is my question to you. If I can move 1 to its correct position, then of course I can move rest all the elements to the correct position. Let's see if I can move 1 to its correct position. So it is important to note here that 6 is a multiple of 3. Okay, that's important. So let's see how can we move. So we can. So I'm talking about k equals to 3. We cannot have k equals to 6, but I'm talking about k equals to 3. So let's see. First things first. Let's just move 1 to third position. So not third position. So 3, right? So let's just move 1 here. So it will be 1 7. Maybe I can just change the color so you'll be able to know. So first things first. Let's bring 7 here and 1 here. So now 7 is at its correct position, and I can then what I can do, 1 is here, and then I can again move 3 distance apart and replace 4 with 1 and bring 4 here. Right, so yeah, 1 can be brought to its correct position, and right now 7 is finally at its correct position, 4 is at its correct position, 1 is at its correct position, and of course these guys, and of course you can now move the 6 and 3 to its correct position in one go, right? So 3 will be here, 6 will be here, right? So now every one of them is at its correct position. So k equals to 3 works, frankly. So k equals to 3 is the answer. K equals to 3 is the answer. Just one more example, and everything will be clear. Don't worry. This last example I will leave it as an exercise to you, but let's take one more example. You'll be able to understand it. Don't worry. So don't worry about tracing out the examples. If it takes time, it doesn't take much time. Here it might look like I'm taking more time, 10-15 minutes, but in 5 minutes you should be able to figure this out, okay? Because I have to explain it to you, right? So here 1 is at its correct position, 6 4 distance apart, 7 4 distance apart, 4 0 distance apart, 9 4 distance apart, 2 4 distance apart, 4 distance apart, 0 distance apart, 4 distance apart. So here I guess the idea is very simple. Just pick k equals to 4. Okay, so why do I think, again I'll repeat myself, why am I just picking the values among these only? Yes, because it is obvious that you pick any other value, you might not be able to move it, right? So that's one thing. So k equals to 4. So this is fine. K equals to 4 works. You cannot have any more value than that, because otherwise you won't be able to move it. Okay, fine. This example you can figure it out. So I guess the answer for this would be 3. I don't know. Maybe. Okay, let's just solve it. Okay, I leave it for you. So there's one more example in the Codeforces. You can trace it out for yourself. So here 3 minus 1 is 2. This is 8. This is 2. This is 2. So this is basically how far the elements are there from its correct position. Okay, this is 4. This is 0. This is 0. This is 0. This is again 8. And this is 6. Okay, this is actually interesting. Okay, glad I took this example for you. So fine. So here what can be possible values of k? Can you pick k equals to 8? You cannot pick k equals to 8, because otherwise you won't be able to move these guys, this, and these guys, right? So the elements which are at its correct position are not a problem to you. They are not affecting anything. But if you pick k equals to 8, you won't be able to move the other guys. So k equals to 8 is not a good option. So what is the next value? Let's take k equals to 6. If you choose k equals to 6, again you won't be able to move these guys, right? Because they are just 2 distance apart. How can you move them using 6? You won't be able to do it. Okay, so k equals to 6 doesn't work. Don't worry, I'll formalize it in a bit. So k equals to 6 doesn't work. Does k equals to 4 work? You can check it, it won't work. So k equals to, does k equals to 2 work? It's an interesting question. So k equals to 2 actually works. Okay, so okay, fine. K equals to 2 actually works. So why it works is, see, there's no problem for these guys. These guys will anyway be at its correct position. You might be wondering, why should these guys why should these guys be able to go to their correct position when k is 2? Do you agree with me? One thing here, let me just give you an example, so then you might be able to agree. So let's say I want to move 10 to its correct position with k equals to 2. I can just move 10 two distance at a time. Okay, so firstly I'll move so okay, 4, right? So I'll move 4 first here, so two distance. So first let's move this. So 4 is here, 8 is here, then I'll move here. Okay, so 4 is here, 6 is here, fine. Then 4 is here, and 2 is here, right? So 4 is at its correct position, but what just happened here, now it has become 4 distance apart, and the 6 has become what, 2 distance apart, and 8 has become also 2 distance apart. So that's what happened here, right? So yeah, but the point is 4 is at its correct position. Okay, 4 is at its correct position. So the point I'm trying to make here is you can move pi to its correct position I, if pi minus I, the distance, basically how far pi is from its correct position, the absolute value of it is a multiple of k. Okay, that's the point. Okay, the multiple of k. For example, if this distance was 8, of course you can of course, if the distance between the correct position and here, for example, yeah, here you can see that basically the distance of this from its correct position is 8. You can move it to its correct position if this distance 8 is a multiple of k, basically 2. Okay, if it is a multiple of 2. So basically, if you have a value n, p1 minus 1 should be a multiple of p1 minus 1 should be a multiple of k. Then okay, p2 minus 2 should be a multiple of k. Similarly, p3 minus 3 should be a multiple of k. So on, pn minus n should be a multiple of k. Okay, right? So k should divide all of them. If these all should be multiple of k, what it means is k should divide all of them. K should divide all of them, right? K should divide all of them. So all of this should be a multiple of k. It means k should divide all of them. What is the largest k? What is the largest k that divides all of these values? What is the largest value of k that divides all of these values? What is that? GCD, right? Simply GCD of all these elements is the largest k which divides all of these elements, right? Okay, so question is complete here, guys. See, I don't know if you got it. So what happened here? See, what I did is I found out that how far an element is from its correct position. Then after some careful examination, I found out that I can move pi to I, that is it's in its correct position if pi minus I, the absolute value, is a multiple of k. That is k should divide all of them. But I also want to maximize the value of k. The question now becomes, what is the largest k? That divides all of them? What is the largest k that divides all of them? It's simply GCD of all of these guys. Okay, and if you know the property of GCD, that if you want to calculate GCD of ABC, it is same as GCD of AB, and then again doing GCD of AB and then C. So basically you can change the GCD operation. Okay, so you can calculate GCD on the fly. So what I'm saying is, if you have GCD of 4, 5, 6 to calculate, you can first calculate GCD of 4, 5, and then GCD of, and then again GCD with 6. So basically what I'm saying is, I guess it is associative. It is associative, commutative, everything, right? GCD is associative and commutative both. Fine. So that's that. So yeah, the pseudocode is simple. You just like this for AI in our array, go through all the elements, and just compute a running sum. So basically I can maybe initially 0, because GCD of 0 with any guy is just simply that guy, right? So this you already know. GCD of 0x is simply x. So I can initialize the GCD to 0, or if you want, I can initialize to first guy and then I can start from the next guy, but fine. So initialize the GCD with 0, and then S equals to, use the std GCD function, S AI minus I, the absolute value, right? AI minus I absolute value, and in the end you can just return S, right? So this is the largest K, basically this is the largest K which divides all of these, right? So that's about the code. So let's just quickly code it up, and okay guys, let's quickly code up the solutions. I've already taken the input. Notice that I've taken the array as 1 indexed because we already discussed the solution in context of 1 based indexing. So usually in this permutation based questions, it is helpful if you take them as 1 based indexing. Fine, so I'll initialize the answer to be 0, basically maximum value of K. So what we are after is, we are after the maximum value of K which divides array of I, basically Pi minus I, right? Which divides all of them. So basically we have to find out the GCD of, we have to calculate the running GCD of basically P1 minus 1, P2 minus 2, P3 minus 3, so on and so forth, right? So, and we know that if you want to calculate the running GCD of A, B, C, D, we can calculate GCD of B first, and then with C, then with D, and so on, right? So that's the property of GCD. GCD is commutative and associative. So let's just quickly go through the array. So notice that I'm starting with 1 based indexing. Okay, so I equals to 1, I less than n, I plus plus, and then answer equals to underscore GCD, the standard GCD function in the library, absolute value of array of I minus I, right? So this is basically how far apart array of I is from its correct position, and answer, right? So I'm just calculating the running GCD here, and in the end I can just print the GCD here. Fine. So this is fine. Let me just quickly run it. So answer should be 1 2 3 4 3 2 3, right? So let's just see if it works. I think it works. Let me just quickly submit it. Yeah, it works. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. But before that, let's talk about time complexity here a little bit. So what do you think is the time complexity here? So GCD, by the way, if you don't know, the time complexity is usually logarithmic. Okay, so it's a log factor. So if you think here, the time complexity, you might say it is n into log n, right? It isn't the case. So it turns out if you have an array of n elements and you are calculating a running GCD, the time complexity turns out to be n plus log n. Okay, it's not n into log n. Contrary to believe that it should be n into log n, it's just n plus log n. So the upper bound, the tighter upper bound is this n plus log n. So frankly, the proof is a little bit math heavy, so I will not discuss it here. But if you want, I'll leave a link to a blog in the description section of the video, so you can look at it. But the important thing is that this loop is running for n plus log n. It is not running n into log n. Okay, so this is anything. Whenever you calculate running GCD, basically accumulating all the guys, then the time complexity will be n plus log n, not n log n. Fine. That's that. I'll see you in the next one then.